G'day everybody and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. This podcast is proudly brought to you by the Mazda BT50. Ute do Ute. Today on the show, it's the 6 points leading into the round. If you haven't subscribed to us, please do that. Wherever you listen to your podcast, leave us a rating, leave us a review, hit us up on Instagram at Hardball Gets AFL. All right, let's get stuck in. This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Chris Robinson, who just can't put a foot wrong in my absence.
Hey guys.
Master of the order.
Welcome back.
What about
golden boy over here?
Old dickbag. He gets that nervous during the room. He tried to adjust his mic and pulled it off
it
off the base.
I was very strong.
Hey, you still doing your Pilates?
Dude, I got back to Pilates this morning. Actually, I was very pleased.
Where do you do it?
Pace Pilates in Claremont. Shout out. It's good. It's a good spot.
Great.
Twice a week.
What was the cost? Out of interest?
I can't remember. I think I'm on some plan like $40 a week.
Are you one-on-one or in a group?
No, in a group.
You got your own reformer?
Yeah, got my own.
Okay.
Well, you don't share reformers, mate. I'm too sweaty as well. I'm not the only bloke in there who has. I've got it. Most people just rock up just themselves and some socks. I've got to have the water bottle and I've got to have a towel. Especially in the heat of summer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I like it. I like that. Well done.
Yeah, thanks very much.
You haven't said I've got a nice haircut yet. But
You do have it.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Resplendent.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, fresh haircut, fresh shave, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
What's the occasion?
Had to spare 5 minutes? Or?
Yeah. Literally had 5 minutes. So
Okay.
No, my barber, she's moving back to Scotland, so thought I needed to touch base.
Where at? What's the barber shop?
Scarborough Barber.
Scarborough Barber.
Jeez, it must be nice to live in the suburbs of Scarborough and Claremont, you guys. Unbelievable. We're trying to appeal to the common listener here, and you're talking about the leafy coastal suburbs and Golden Triangle.
No, Scarborough's a common suburb.
Yeah.
Where I live isn't, but the Scarborough part is.
Well, what's been going on? So this is 6 points. The big picture item for this week is obviously the Tasmanian bid. So might as well start it off with that. And Robbo, you're going to lead us into it.
I will. How exciting. Since we last recorded the pod, we've got a new AFL club. It's
pretty
19th team.
In 5 years?
Yeah, 2028
years.
start. So that's going to be a really interesting point, actually, the whole drafting uncompromised. There's only 3 uncompromised drafts left until it starts getting
Is that when they start chewing into it?
Probably. If they're the same as Gold Coast and GWS, they probably have the
priority
one
access to
before.
the 17-year-olds,
Yeah,
I reckon,
so the 2026 one will be a little bit 17-year-old-y, and then 27.
So they're going to have young, would you say 16-year-olds moving to Tassie?
No, they'd have to be 17.
What?
That's when they went.
But if they get the year earlier...
That's still be 17 that year, I think. Anyway, but for clubs that are battling right now, you've got 3 drafts to figure it out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to start getting funky.
What is the schooling system like over in Tassie? Because a lot used to go to year 10. Am I right in saying that?
And then go to a boarding school or something after that? Or just the
school.
So
where I grew up, the local high school didn't go to year 12.
Oh, really?
Year 10, and then you had to either venture onto another town or go...
wow.
Farm or try. I think a lot of, not a lot, I might be speaking out of school here, but I think there's quite a few that are like that in Tassie.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm not even shot at Tassie, exactly the same as my hometown. But I wonder what the schooling, education and whatnot's like down there if you wanted
to stick around.
Getting moved over and whatnot. Yeah.
Right. I wanted to talk about the stadium and the roof and whether we actually need one or not.
Yes, absolutely.
We absolutely
100%.
We do?
I'm sick of watching these shit games of footy when it pisses down rain, blows its ass out, and you sit there for 2.5 hours, and the only good thing is to walk to the fridge to get a fresh beer.
You're the same on Optus. You thought I should have had a roof, right?
Why not?
Yeah, I still can't say I don't like roofs.
In
general, I'm anti-roof.
That's definitely a clip we're cutting out for the end of your tape. I don't like roofs.
So you'd rather just sit there. So you're telling me if it's bucketing down in rain, you don't look up and go, this game would be better with a roof.
Well, just point of order, because I've brought a little bit of research to this.
I want to fight him.
That's a common theme.
I think it's because I had no skill and I love wet games. As everyone came down to my level, you just had, as long as you
that wouldn't be it.
You're all right.
No, that wouldn't be it.
I've got 2 points to make here. One, average total rainfall in selected capital cities between April and September, so footy season.
Yep. Perth would be high.
Perth 602 mils, Sydney 535, Brisbane 398, Adelaide 385, Hobart 289.
Yeah.
So all of those cities get more rain than Hobart during footy season.
But
and
less
secondly,
snow.
obviously it's colder.
Well,
But if you're Hobart and you're trying to make this team into something, don't you want to have like a little home ground advantage down there? Don't you want to make it a place where opposition clubs want to come down and go, oh, geez, we're going to Hobart again. We're going to freeze our nips off. It's going to be really, really tough. Whereas Hobart, hey, they're down there. They know the conditions.
Yeah, I'll
That's
give you
a big home ground advantage.
I'll tell you what's a big selling point, though. You're coming to a nice stadium with a roof to players to come play, not getting soaked, not getting hypothermia, not freezing your ass off.
So do
you think, Zave, do you think playing at Lonnie and knowing what the wind does down there, how cold it is, all those years at the Hawks, do you think that helped contribute to your home ground advantage?
They were just good.
Lance Franklin kicked 13 goals and that helped.
That also helps when you play in North Melbourne.
Those records are a little bit false too, because Hawthorn aren't bringing good teams down to Tassie.
Yeah. They're not making Collingwood go to Tassie.
Yeah, because they obviously financially they need to be at the MCG to make a buck to get the crowd in.
Yeah, of course. But
we're playing, a Fremantle that we're battling, a Gold Coast. There was.
But you're also playing a Fremantle who wants no part of those conditions because they're so different to Subiaco Oval.
The players don't want part of it either. I remember Brisbane, Jonathan Brown had that thing where we're not here, we're not going to mention the conditions. If I hear a mention of anyone whinging about how cold it is, come over to our change rooms. Oh, fuck, it's freezing here, isn't it? I don't want to be here. They must think like the Hawthorn boys were like banging their head against the concrete going, oh, we're so tough in these conditions. We were sooky little bitches too.
Clarko wouldn't let you wear long sleeves.
So, mate, we were warming up with socks on our hands.
I just reckon if you're living down there and you're based down there and you're used to those conditions, as the Tasmanian guys will be, what a great point of difference to have. Hey, this is a stadium. It's the coldest, wettest, most unwelcoming stadium for opposition players.
It doesn't matter. From experience, it doesn't matter who you are. If you can get a beautiful day, a beautiful day of football, great. Or when you're driving to Etihad and it's piss and rain outside, you go, oh, thank Christ.
Is it'd be retractable? Is that what the plan is?
Yeah.
Or is it fixed roof?
It'd have to be.
I don't think so.
Not retractable?
No, you'd have to have retractable for cricket.
So it's just a big house.
Well, that's why it doesn't sound like they're going to be able to play cricket.
That's why I don't like roofs.
So anti-roof.
And you got one about the father-sons,
we're just going to go with Tassie. Just some of the great father-sons, the Ablets, the Watsons, the Cloaks, the Kennedys, the Murphys, the Hawkinses, the Livers, the Tom Mitchells, the Barry Mitchells, the Vineys, the Danahers, the Dacosses. Bang. Father-son, more so traditionally in the past where Tom Hawkins would have been top 1 or 2 picks, gets picked up at 40 or whatever. Yeah. Ablett, Scarlett, all that. You know, now it's not so much as a bigger advantage, but it's still an advantage.
Pretty big
it's still a big advantage.
Yeah, Brisbane playing a prelim and then get to take the number 1 pick.
Especially too when they, if you give us 5 fifth-round picks, that equals pick 1. And you're like,
no, it does not.
What? Anyway, so the father-son rule that's been announced in regards to Tasmania.
Yeah, we still need to know a few more details about this, right?
But I think you read it and I read it the same. Yeah. Is if your father was
from
Tassie and played 100 games.
But what is from Tassie?
Yeah, this is right.
Well, the photo of the article I read, he's Nick Rewald.
But he was drafted out of Queensland. and he lived there for several years.
But he's from Tassie before.
Tassie before that.
So
the photo was Nick Rewald on the article. Yeah. But my point is, so this is all great in theory, but none of them have been there for
long time.
20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
So therefore their kids have probably never been there. So which kid is going to go, father-son rule to the Tassie side? I'm so passionate about
Sticking my hand up.
A state I've never been to, a team my dad never played for, and a team I never supported.
Yeah.
So in theory, I love the idea of getting Tasmanian father-sons, which is great. I just don't know how, none of them have really returned back to Tassie either.
Well, the question would be, what if Nick Rewald moves down there he doesn't have sons. Does he have sons?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, he does?
Yeah,
Who doesn't? Richard doesn't have sons.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
sure. So, but I mean, how funny is it that you beauty, great, we've got access to all these father's sons.
Yeah.
Like, for example, say Nick Rewald's son, I'm sure he's got a son, loves his footy, and he's tracking towards number 1 draft pick. In my mind, there's no doubt he picks St Kilda. Like, Nick Rewald's St Kilda.
He's a St Kilda person.
He's not spent 5 minutes in Tassie now. I don't know.
Especially if there's no roof on the stadium.
Yeah, that's right.
Way too cold.
No roof.
Just would not want a bar of it.
He has 2 sons.
2 sons. Is one called Jack?
Jack Rewald.
What? He's actually a forward for Richmond.
James. And
James
Teddy
Wheel
as
and
well.
Teddy.
There you go. So,
He's one.
I don't know. Time will tell because we're so far away from, I imagine, father-sons coming through.
Yeah.
But I wonder whether, they do ever land a big fish. But I just find these kids are going to be so attached to their fathers' clubs where they're legends.
But it depends. But you might get a Mitch Robinson's kid. Carlton, Brisbane, whoever. I'll go to Tassie.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
If he's playing.
So his father's...
I think his son's actually playing rugby league.
His father's son 3 clubs then.
Yeah.
Tassie, Carlton.
Did he play 100 at...
Yeah.
Yeah,
He did 100 at both,
then this kid
yeah.
can go to one of 3 clubs.
Yeah, there you go. And just quickly, last point on Tassie before we hit the buzzer. Who should be the face of Tasmanian football team?
As in a player-wise?
Yeah, who do you want to be the face of it?
Wait, in what respect?
Marketing, everything.
The whole beard?
So,
Yes.
so as a player who goes down there,
Just
like the
pick
Gary
anyone.
Ablett.
No. Marketing over the next 5 years till we get to the point.
Oh, right. Okay. David Boone.
Oh, I'm going to say Ricky Ponting.
Okay.
Ricky Ponting just should be, for mine.
Tim Payne's probably taking a hit.
But he's too North Melbourne, though.
I don't care. But he's passionate Tasmanian.
Yeah.
He's lived there. They just need someone, and I love Ponting. That's why I picked Ponting, and you might love Booney.
Who doesn't love Booney?
Yeah, no, I do. But Ricky Ponting to me
Ricky
was my
Ponting,
favourite player of all time, and I used to always find it really unique that he was in Tassie because
Never
AFL
left.
was never there. He was a Tasmanian, proud Tassie lad, stayed with the Shield side. So I just see Ricky Ponting as he should just say, "Hey, I've been the world's best, essentially, at cricket, and I never left this place."
They're putting
it's
together
pretty bloody good.
They're putting together the board and the executive at the moment. The Tassie government is if they don't. If Ricky Ponting's not one of the
if
first,
he's not the
names on
face, and I
list.
don't care if he's a cricketer and loves North Melbourne, if he's not the face of
and
Tassie,
a director,
it
or
just
even
has
president.
to be leading the charge to get people down. And if you're sitting in a room interviewing for, hey mate, we're interested to get you down to Tassie, and you're with 2 politicians or a footy manager, I'll tell you what holds weight. Ricky bloody Ponting sitting at that table. I'd have him signed on and doing everything for that football team.
Early call on the coach. I'm going to say
James Sicily.
James Sicily is the coach down there. Nathan Buckley might be one you might be able to coax as a big name. He lives in every other state in Australia over his journey, so
Just complete the set.
just bring him down.
Bucks, I like it. Bucks did such a good job at Collingwood. I agree.
All right, back to the other footy and talking to coaches. So there's a couple at the moment who are intriguing to me just about what they do, career-wise. I'm not even that concerned about what's going on the field. Should they be a head coach kind of thing? I think it's more of I'm thinking about it from their perspective. What's going to get the most out of their career, and why would you want to keep doing this job? And it's Simmo and Dimma. They're both long-term coaches at a club who's looking like Dimma maybe the outlook's definitely better than at Richmond than it is at West Coast.
Not in premiership sense.
But it's still a while. You got more to play with in the interim.
And to flash back, you're more chance of finishing 9th if you're Richmond.
Well, yeah, ninth.
Back to the old days.
We can be the old people going, I remember when Richmond were good.
Yeah. Jeez, they were good.
They were good over that patch. But just what do these guys do? They've been in the role. So Hardwick is the longest-serving current coach. He's in his 14th year, I think it is. Then it goes Longmire, Chris Scott, Hinkley. They all have obviously more to play with at the moment. And then Simpson at 9 coming into his 10th or in his 10th season.
You could almost, and I know Horse made the grand final last year.
He's another
you could
one,
almost think that he might be starting to tie because he's a bloody good coach, or whatever. But like fresh ideas, maybe.
Fresh ideas, but just like a fresh. I don't know. These blokes obviously. When you come into it every season, it's a new season, gives you new challenges and stuff. But when you do, can you imagine doing the same job for a 10-year stretch, and then it's the worst it's ever been at the end?
Yeah,
don't think about leaving.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason why history isn't too kind to these guys who stick around for a while. So we all agree Richmond's not winning the flag this year, right?
Yes.
So if they're going to win it, it's going to be the earliest they're going to win it is
now.
So next year is year 15 for Hardwick. Only one AFL coach has ever won a flag in year 15 or later for Hardwick next year, yeah. Oh. So only one coach has ever won a flag.
Stand down.
I'm going with Robbo stats over
in year 15 or later at the same club. And that's Sheedy in year 20 in 2000 in Essendon.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why it doesn't work, and it hasn't worked, and you don't see Hardwick winning another flag at Richmond.
I would love that research extended to American sports or
There's a sort of
like
different
EPL or whatever.
Sure.
They're older and whatever. But
yeah,
like,
but I think a lot of them also.
yeah.
Greg Popovich, Belichick. These guys have all
But
done it.
in American football, are the coaches, have they played? Because there's almost nowhere to play, right, if you're not picked up in the NFL or like Canada or something. Like, there's not a lot of places
After college, you mean?
Yeah, after college.
a lot have come from like the video room and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. They're not players. Like,
Yeah.
they've like career coaches almost from when they were young.
It's a different industry, isn't it?
But I wonder,
Brendan Bolton was probably the last one.
He
who
was the
didn't,
one, yeah. And then
didn't play
Fagan didn't play
Fakes,
AFL.
yeah.
Yeah, so there's room for them. But, if you don't... I just think why they probably should be looking at something else.
Yeah.
And the money's hard to say no
So
to.
Simmo's got this year, next year, and the year after
Yeah, that's the understanding, yeah.
contracted. So that's hard to move regardless. Because
I think West Coast could pay the tax.
No. The soft cap. It just
Hey,
straight.
West Coast could fit like millions and millions of dollars in the bank.
Yeah, I don't
Just take
know.
the-
I just know what it did to Hawthorn when Clarko was still on the books.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's not. It shouldn't. I'm not looking at this from a club should get rid of him. I'm looking at it like, are they thinking about leaving?
I
would be.
it's hard. You have to be hard.
Yeah.
Because especially when you've been to the top.
Yeah.
I just think maybe, and I see Clarko, and I know the sugar hit's starting to run out a little bit at North.
Yeah, but they didn't get him for this
the
year.
genuine excitement he had with the young kids early days, I just think that if Simmo with 2.5 years left, and I know I'm a Simmo man, if they can just get in 5 more kids and get rid of the top end stuff that's always injured, all of a sudden you've got a different energy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I tweeted the other day when Hawthorn fans were being dickbags. I've used that word twice.
Yeah, it's all right.
About when they got whopped by Geelong in the second half. Hawthorn were winning at half time and then got whopped in the second half to lose by 90 or whatever on Easter Monday. The Lewis Franklin Roughhead 05-06 in 44 games lost 15 of them by over 40 points.
Yeah.
They won 4 flags.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard.
It takes time.
Yeah, and I know it's shocking, and I sit there and watch them all too. Like, I sit at the game and go, "This is horrible," but you've got to remember, like, let's just soak up the good times when they come back and enjoy watching the kids. The kids aren't there at the moment, and I think that's the frustrating part. Is who are you watching if you're at West Coast? But if there 5 more players go in, and then next year there's Ginby plus Harley Reid plus, a key position, you go, oh, well, that was good because A, B, and C did something nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think coaching go in phases, and they're in the middle of a phase that haven't been seen before, which is hard. But they need to get through this year and then just go kids.
Because there's always the option of being like a director of coaching or something somewhere. Like Alan Richardson landed on his feet at Collingwood, I think he is. Came out of St Kilda, got the arse.
Is it Melbourne? St Kilda?
Melbourne
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, director of like coaching and whatever
Yeah.
in Melbourne. Much easier job on your life and your mental health.
Yes.
Oh, mate, that's
out
the
of,
thing.
out of the spotlight.
It must be hard on your mental health.
Oh, massively.
But can you imagine these conversations 10 years ago? Like, thinking of a
mental
coach's
health,
mental health. Like,
Yeah.
oh, just be better, mate. Your team's shit.
Tough
But,
it
like,
up.
now you go, mate, that must be hard to...
Must be. It's tough. This is
I
what I mean.
agree.
I think like if the clubs don't make the call for them, I think they would both probably, like in an ideal world, start to be looking elsewhere just for themselves personally, unless they think they can. There's not many sheedies in the world.
Correct.
It's only one Sheeds. I just wanted to shout out some ridiculous engine room consistency. So just bear with me here. Streaks of most consecutive matches at the moment of guys who've had 5+ clearances in a game. Let me count you up from 5 to 1, okay? Of current guys who have reeled off 5+ in games.
How many are there? Should we have a couple of guesses?
Well, I'm doing the top 5.
Right, okay.
So from number 5, Bont has had 7 straight games. This is a current streak. 7 straight games with 5+ clearances. Nice. 4th is Will Brodie, who's had 9. Yeah, it's pretty good. Got dropped in there. Lockie Neal's had 10. Patrick Cripps has had 11.
Yeah.
And the leader, Clayton Oliver, this weekend is about to do game number 50. 50.
That's
straight
what I love, Robbo.
games
This is what I love.
with 5 clearances or more. That is ridiculous. The previous record is 28 from Mundy and Josh Kennedy of the Sydney kind.
Yeah.
That is outrageous
My
consistency from Clary.
And this is why, and I had no idea of that stat.
50.
But I've been a Clary Oliver
You've been big on-
fanboy for way too long. But now I feel like I should have had those stats up my sleeve rather than
Just
me
to
just
clear it off.
rambling on
Do
about
we
it.
underappreciate
Oh, I don't.
The high level of consistency. We've been doing so much talking about Dacos this year. Obviously, good reason.
Not even
Bond's
close.
playing at at his best clip, but Clary is just still Clary.
And Nick Dacos isn't in that conversation for mine.
No, different player.
But outstanding player.
Best player of this season is probably out of the pool of
Jezza.
Clary, Cameron, and Curnow.
Clary, Cameron, and Curnow.
And then throw a Bond maybe as the next run.
Well, you can't criticise Nick Dacos.
Yeah, Dacos is
this
in there
season.
somewhere.
Yeah, but he's still he's the next one
Brownlow.
just outside of them, I reckon.
Just short. He had a quiet game on the weekend and came in.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
It's a kick-outs. You need someone to criticise him because he's pretty flawless. Kick-outs.
Yeah, his brother's going to be pretty high up in that best and fairest too.
His start's been so good, Dacos Brownlow-wise, that he's probably going to nudge in for every game where he just doesn't get suspended. It's just another game closer to being
wiped off injury and wiped off suspension.
It's probably unfair. He's probably in the mix, but I think he's probably ahead of Bont, really. But Clary, I still think, is slightly ahead of him. And then it's the forwards, because they're doing stuff that forwards haven't done for a while.
And I'll tell you that, and I know like Hawkins is starting to fire as well.
He's a career high as a 45-year-old.
Yeah, he's starting to. That's why Geelong is starting to look scary because Jerez Cameron. He kicks goals, but it looks like he doesn't care about kicking goals. It's just a part of where he'll be up the ground, he'll be in the middle bit, he'll be roaming around here, he'll be cutting back to goals, kicking it to himself virtually.
Some of the takes on Geelong from 4 weeks ago, and this podcast is probably included, are going to be on that freezing cold takes Twitter account.
Nick
I was right out.
Where it was like,
can't
win
it. It turns out
not
they're
hungry
all
enough,
so
too
old that they still had about 3 weeks worth of lactic acid. From the
final. What was my take? My take was the two consistencies were gone. Selwood gone, and Hawkins hasn't done any pre-season. Was scheduled to play about round 5.
I think I said Dangerfield was like he lost a couple of steps, and now he's just
Danger's playing the best game he's ever played. Hey, really quick one before we do. You just mentioned Danger. I think it was the front bar or one of those Twitter accounts was like, righto, name your best head-to-head matchup you've ever seen.
Danger 5.
That was just scattered.
That Saturday night in Adelaide?
Yeah, that was just scattered the whole way through the feed. Yeah. It's amazing how many people sat there and remember it now and go, that was unbelievable.
I was in that big sports bar at Crown after the day of the races.
Oh, yeah, no, you would have been talking.
I can remember most of it.
Talking
you remember most of it, and then it starts getting a bit hazy
It's hard talking to him when he's pissed. It's hard. I'm a Bill Simmons man. You're a Bill Simmons fan.
Yeah.
You're a Bill Simmons fan.
Love the ringer, yeah.
So what I enjoy occasionally...
It's got the Grantland books. I got them off eBay.
Oh, yeah, we spoke about that, yeah.
Cool.
So what they do in the NFL season is they literally just cut teams and just say, no, I've seen enough. They can't make the playoffs. They're done. Put a line through them. And it starts week 1. And a lot of the time it's like the Falcons gone, Jets gone, all that sort of stuff. What I want to do just really quickly, I've got the ladder in front of me. I just want a yay or nay whether they'll make finals or not, okay? So you can only, you obviously need to rule 10 out. Well, no.
So finals or win the flag?
Would you say the ones
finals.
who are done?
Finals? Okay.
Finals.
Okay.
So we say the ones who are done?
Yeah, done, unlikely, and yes, okay. So we'll start from the top and work down. Collingwood.
Can they make the finals?
Yes.
I'm going to go out on a limb. Yep.
Melbourne.
I believe they can be there.
Are you locked in on St Kilda?
I am now, yeah. Why do you hate St Kilda?
Sitting third, 5 wins.
I think they'll make it. If I had to put my mortgage on it, that's a different question.
Yeah,
So I'm relatively locked in.
Yeah, okay. The Brisbane Lions?
Yeah, they'll make it.
Yes.
The Port Adelaide Power?
Yes.
Should.
I saw a stat the other day. Today it was that they've gone from last to first in defence or something along those lines over a couple. I don't know what they've changed or they just got lucky, but that's a reasonable stat. Carlton?
Not prepared to call it yet.
There's not a lot of convincing.
More likely than unlikely.
In the St Kilda category. Who are you more confident about, St Kilda or Carlton?
St Kilda right now, yeah.
Right, okay. Yep. I'm more confident in Carlton. Geelong.
Yeah, they'll make it. Yep.
Finals.
I find this one interesting. Adelaide Crows.
I'll say yes, but I'm a Perther.
Producer Michaela's nodding her head, I should say. She's a big Crows.
Yeah, fullback Crows, Nuffy.
I don't know. I feel like that loss might have just swung them the other way. They're in Geelong this week. Yeah, they're in Geelong this week, and then winter's coming a little bit.
So, can you imagine the conversation in the coach's box on the weekend? Saligo had 24 touches.
Yeah, that was a head scratcher.
But who throws up the name Saligo when he's had the most footy on the ground for your team and he's playing a good game?
There's one. I saw a headline of Nick saying that.
Nick signed it. No, it was an error. It was a mistake. But I don't, surely you just go to the bottom of the stat sheet, see Xavier Ellis' name there, he's going, shit house, go, off you go.
Yeah, you're right.
Red flag.
Red vest.
Surely that's how it's done. Not like, this bloke's going really good, but we think he might have a quiet last quarter. How does that come up?
Overthinking.
Really quickly, Essendon.
More unlikely
Yeah, it's
than
a no
likely.
for me.
Yep.
The Bulldogs.
It's not a no, but it's a
Maybe.
maybe.
Generally
We got maybes.
50-50.
We got maybes.
Now we're getting down to so Sydney are 3 and 4. The Swans.
I have an irrational confidence in Sydney. I think they'll make
I'm
it.
gonna say
do I.
maybe.
They'll
Going
figure it out.
shit house.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
And then the Giants.
Negative.
I'm not
Nope.
ready to call them yet.
Not ready to Gold Coast Suns.
Out.
Definitely not.
Freo.
Out.
Not from 2 and 5. 3 teams have done it in the past decade. I don't think they're gonna
and
be
then
able
the
to.
next 4 are North Richmond, Hawthorn, and West Coast. So there's a few there. I think I'm with you in Sydney. I think Adelaide make it.
What's your GWS call?
No.
You know. You love GWS.
Yeah, I know.
So you think Adelaide and Sydney both make it?
Yeah.
So which 2 teams in the 8 are you knocking out?
I'm
Sorry,
not-
Adelaide is in the 8 right now.
Adelaide's in, so I'm taking St Kilda out.
You're taking St Kilda out.
Sitting
Okay.
third.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, interesting.
Speaking of those last 4 clubs, North Melbourne, Richmond, Hawthorn, and West Coast, I think Richmond will. There's enough talent on there compared to the others that they'll jump ahead. So if we're assuming the race for Harley Reid now comes down to North Melbourne, Hawthorn, and West Coast,
Bleed for Reid.
the bleed for Reid is well and truly on. Played VFL on the weekend.
So are we over the top of the draft before we go on? Like, is there none of the kids as good as well? Like,
Someone might jump out in the last.
so we're all loving this Reid, but is pick 2 going to be an absolute rip snorter too?
Well, there's also Jed Walter, the Gold Coast academy kid, key forward, kicked 8 and had basically had 400 Dream Team points on the weekend.
Okay.
Essentially,
Okay.
So he's one to keep an eye on. But of course, he's already
Can't get him. So Harley Reid's a
There's also
standout.
Levi Ashcroft, Will's younger brother.
Well, he's no good to
who's
anyone.
going to be going to Brisbane
Yeah.
as well. But I can't think of any others that
Okay.
are right at the top
Righto.
of the was yet. I think the gap between 1 and 2 is. Well, last time what you said was this significant was Dacos, and who went 1 in Dacos this year? Dacos went 4th, right?
Yeah, Dacos was
'Cause-
4.
I can't remember that. We'll look it up. Robbo, you got the computer open. Can you look that up? So the Blue for Reeds only played Carlton at VFL on the weekend because there was a bye in the Talent League and people wanted to see him play at the top level.
That's hard to start with.
Yeah, it's
He's a
big
team
jump.
you don't know anyone. You're
Yeah,
playing against
jump in.
man. Good luck.
Well, and it shows too because we had 13 touches, 3 marks. Yeah, he was okay, but the previous week, during gather round, he played against men in that AFL Academy team with kids he's played
Yeah.
with, and he had 22, 7 clearances and a goal. Like,
Yeah.
he could play at the level.
But that's hard just being picked up and thrown into a...
People you don't know at all.
Did he play for Carlton, did he?
He played for Carlton, this whatever, I can't remember what, I keep calling it the NAB League or the TAC Cup. Jason Horn-Francis, sorry, was number
obviously.
1. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, probably should have remembered that one. It was
Probably
about
should have
18
got
months
that
ago.
My worry is, and you're talking about what's the gap between 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Is what does this mean long term? Like I can't remember a number 1 pick who's been the clear number 1 pick who's turned into the clear best player in the competition. Generally, the number 1 turns into like a safe bet, 250 to 300 gamer.
How many number 1 picks are in the Hall of Fame right now?
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. Nick Rewald.
0.
But
Nick Rewald's one who
Is Hodgie up this year?
Hodgie will get in there whenever he's eligible.
Hodgie delivered. I feel like Hodgie's entire it's more than what he was able to do with a ball in his hand. His whole reputation.
This is a guess. Something like the last 23 years, how many number 1 draft picks have won flags?
It's something like 2. Is that right?
Hodge.
Yeah.
And someone probably did it when they moved. Did someone move? Did any other ones? Drew Banfield. He was the number 1 pick who won a flag.
So I think it was 20. I
2006.
think it was 20. Whatever. From the draft. From the draft, though. He was 74 when he won that one.
Yeah.
The other one's Tom Boyd.
Oh, true, Western Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's only 2.
Yeah, from
In the last
2000
20
onwards, from that draft or something like that.
Interesting. I think as the longer we go on this season, the more talk about if West Coast stays where we think West Coast is going to stay, that conversation about splitting the top pick is going to come more and more into play, I reckon.
Particularly with Tassie coming, you just need volume of good kids.
Just get as many good kids
I was
through
big
the
on
door.
splitting picks
Unless there's an amazing WA prospect.
Yeah, if you finish 2, if you get the number 2 pick, maybe split it.
I'm not splitting Reid.
It's hard to make that case to your members.
Last year I was big on splitting it, and I bugger the members. I love members. But the number 1 draft pick is...
You got to take the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, I think now. I know I was big on splitting it last year just because of how dire it was.
Yeah.
Well, nothing's changed. And now I'm like, just give us the number one and we'll go with it.
So my concern with this Harley Reid thing, and the one that makes you think of it, is this is pretty much he's following the same story of Cam Rayner. He was like far and away the number one pick that year.
But this kid's numbers have stacked up like no one else's in the history of the under 18 competition.
He did delivering consistently. He hasn't played the under 18 championships in his.
I was just winking as I did that.
I'm just amazed we made it to the half-hour mark of the pod without Nick mentioning Cam Rayner. That was the first Cam Rayner mention.
But it wasn't a positive Cam Rayner. It was a bit of a.
Well,
Cam
he didn't turn out to be Dusty, which is what he was marketed as.
But Dusty wasn't Dusty at that age.
There's still time.
Yeah, there's still time. I'm in on Cam Rayner still. All right, I just don't think he's going to be.
Why do you hate Cam Rayner?
Number one player in the
Why do you hate
competition.
Cam Rayner?
The other one was Jack Darling. A similar thing. Dominated at his underage, played league, and then just slid. He was probably a little bit different because he didn't deliver.
When it's all said and done, I think Jack Darling it could be a trade asset at the end of the year.
Yeah, well,
value's not there like it used to be. But whenever his time finishes at West Coast, he won't get the appreciation he probably deserves.
No.
It's bloody hard. How many
kicking 50 goals pretty much every year.
How many goals do you reckon he's kicked throughout his career?
He'd be five. Is he? Would he kick 500 by now?
I think he's closing in on 500. I think he's high fours. Is that right?
It is. So I just want to quickly get it up. 493.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like four-time leading goal kicker, All-Australian, premiership player.
Yeah,
some people kick 500 goals. They do a lap of the stadium. But I don't think it's going to happen.
He won't. We probably will, but like
no one will clap.
Well, not even. But like grand final day when he retires and they're in the cars.
Yeah.
People won't see him as a 500 goal kicker and a four-time leading goal kicker, all that sort of stuff. It'll be like, oh, Darling's retired, which I think is a bit of a shame.
Do you remember when he dropped those marks in the grand finals? It almost cost him the game in 2018. Yeah. I'm just saying, just to watch out. Just keep tabs on Harley Reid. Just the hype might cripple him a little bit early. Now it's time for
Hardball Bets.
Seamless. Seamless. I've been going pretty well in the off. Well, you go first, Robert. What do you got?
Oh, gosh, I'm not going. I fell apart the last leg last week. I had Fiorini 20+, tick. Jaden Short 20+, tick. Brisbane win, tick. Richmond win, fell down.
Oh, no.
Got rolled by Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Should have known, mate.
Always the last leg. Always the last leg. I'm taking this week Dogs 1-39 against GWS. Freo 1-39 against Hawthorn, and Sicily 20+. Bag it up, $5.60. Let's go.
Haven't the Dogs-Giants rivalry just simmered a little bit in the last couple of years?
Speaking of Tom Boyd.
How big they were, and prelims and all that sort of stuff. And
you might see something on Saturday.
Yeah, okay.
You might see a little something.
They have some of the best rivalries, GWS.
Yeah,
which is a shame because the fan base isn't as big to capitalise on it. But the Sydney Derby, it was unreal. I'm also going, I'll give them the 10.5-point head start.
Who's that?
GWS,
okay.
And Port at the line, which is -13.5. And that rounds up at $3.57.
Let's do it. Gamble responsibly.
Just quickly, Rhino's not here, but I've been tagged in a tweet I saw, and someone said at Xavier Ellis thoughts. So Ryan Daniels has done some current Tassie Link players and their age in 2028.
Yep.
Jay Rue 39.
That came on my radar as well. Jay Rue.
Someone's tweeted, can someone please find me where Rewalt has ever been called Jay Rue? Has anyone ever heard? Did you know who he was talking about straight away?
I actually didn't know who you were talking about when you just said it for about 4 seconds there. I was like,
mate,
what?
Come on, Rhino. Get your head out of your ass. Jay Rue.
Another couple of updates. Ocean Mullen.
Talked up during the week. Turn it off.
Turked up during the week. Super explosive rookie. Could make his surprise debut.
Oh, if you get this right, I'll spew.
Here he comes.
And in true Geelong fashion, he'll be a late change. About half an hour before the bounce, he's in.
And all the joy and fun and the family will be stuck in Ireland. Because
family, you've got half an hour to get to down to the Cattery.
And another bit for those who listened to the 2-minute warning on Monday and caught our Jared Brennan tangent.
Oh, yeah.
Jared Brennan portion of that pod. That was fantastic.
Flashback.
Someone who plays Friday night footy in Brisbane with Jared Brennan. The other people in the team are Carmichael Hunt.
Oh, nice.
And Justin Harding, whose brother Scott was on Port.
Scott Harding.
Was it
Port
and
Adelaide.
then he went to be a punter?
Yes, over in Hawaii, University of Hawaii. Off the top of my head.
Worst places to be a punter in
I know.
Hawaii. Goodness gracious, mate.
Yeah, I'll take the 4-year degree.
Yeah.
Free college degree.
Free degree and go play some footy in Hawaii.
So there you go. That's what he's up to now.
Who was that from?
He doesn't want to know. He doesn't want to be outed. He's a teammate.
Right.
Undisclosed teammate. Of,
I didn't read that
Brennan's.
part of it, so I would have outed him. So well done.
It was funny that I just found it. Look for Jared Brennan photos. And the first one that popped up was that him drinking a fruit box on the bench. I love it.
Yeah, I loved it. There you go.
All right, this has been the Hardball Gets AFL show, proudly brought to you by the Mazda BT50. You do you. We'll see you next time.